You shouldn't have trusted him. Her fingers froze over the glass. What are you talking about? The man leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. The man you've been seeing isn't who you think he is. A pause. Then. He's the one people disappear for. She built her empire from nothing. In a world that underestimated her, she became untouchable. A black billionaire CEO who didn't wait for permission, didn't follow rules, and definitely didn't fall in love. Not anymore. Love was a distraction. A weakness she buried the day she chose power over everything else. So when he walked into her life, he didn't fit. He wasn't rich. Wasn't loud. Didn't chase her like the others. And somehow, that was exactly why she noticed him. He felt real. Safe. Different. And for the first time in years, she let someone get close. But the truth? The man she trusted the most was hiding the most dangerous secret of all.
Before we continue, welcome to Afro-Korean Love Thrillers, your home for dark romance, forbidden passion, power, betrayal, and unforgettable revenge stories. Quick favor, drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from. And if you love stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to us. Your support keeps these powerful stories coming. So, go ahead, tap that subscribe button now. Sit back, relax, because this story is only just getting started. Now, let's dive back in.
The rain had already started before she noticed him. Not because he was invisible, far from it. But because nothing about him demanded attention. And that alone made him dangerous. Inside the glass-walled restaurant perched above the city, everything reflected power. Gold accents. Quiet conversations. Expensive silence. She owned places like this. Built them. Controlled them. Yet tonight, for reasons she refused to examine too closely, she sat alone at a corner table, untouched wine resting in front of her. Her name carried weight in rooms she hadn't even entered. Deals moved at the mention of her approval. Men twice her age adjusted their tone when speaking to her. Control was her language. And she spoke it fluently. Until. You're not going to drink that. The voice came from nowhere. Calm. Low. Uninvited. Her fingers paused midair. Slowly, she turned. He stood beside her table like he had always been there. No expensive suit. No watch-screaming status. No calculated charm. Just a simple black shirt, sleeves rolled slightly, and eyes that didn't shift when she looked at him. People usually looked away. He didn't. Excuse me, she asked, tone measured, sharp enough to cut through most men. He glanced at the glass of wine. Second one, he said. You haven't touched it. A pause. Not awkward. Intentional. Her gaze narrowed slightly. Most men approached her with rehearsed confidence. With visible hunger. With something to prove. This one? Nothing. That was new. And that concerns you, how? She asked. It doesn't, he replied simply. Then added, just an observation. He moved like he was about to leave. Like the interaction had already ended for him. And that was the moment something shifted. Wait. The word left her before she could stop it. He turned back, one brow lifting slightly. She studied him properly now. There was something off. Not in a dangerous way. No, that would have been easy to identify. This was different. Controlled. Quietly aware. Like he saw more than he should. Sit, she said, gesturing to the empty chair across from her. It wasn't a request. He looked at the chair. Then at her. A faint smile touched the corner of his lips, not amused, not mocking. Just, knowing. You always invite strangers to your table? He asked. No, she replied. Another pause. Then he sat. Minutes passed without effort. That alone unsettled her. Conversations, for her, were tools. Precise. Directed. Efficient. This? It wandered. Not aimlessly. But without pressure. He didn't ask what she did. Didn't pretend not to recognize her. Didn't try to impress her. He spoke when he had something to say. And stayed silent when he didn't. That kind of balance was rare. Suspiciously rare. What's your name? She asked finally. He tilted his head slightly, as if considering something deeper than the question itself. Daniel, he said. A simple answer. Too simple. And you? He asked. She almost laughed. You know who I am. Maybe, he said. But I'd rather hear it from you. Another subtle shift. He wasn't playing the usual game. She leaned back slightly. Amara. He nodded once. No reaction. No recognition. Just acceptance. As if her name didn't carry the weight the rest of the world gave it. Strangely. She didn't hate that. Outside, the rain intensified. Inside, time blurred. For the first time in years, she wasn't thinking 3 steps ahead. Wasn't calculating outcomes. That night should have ended there. A strange encounter. Nothing more. But life didn't work that way. Not when something unseen had already begun to move. 3 days later. The boardroom fell silent as Amara closed the file in front of her. Approve it, she said. 12 people nodded almost instantly. Power looked like this. Decisive. Final. Controlled. Yet her mind was somewhere else. A quiet voice. A steady gaze. A man who didn't try. It lingered. Unwelcome. Unexplained. And for the first time in a long time. Unavoidable. That evening, as she stepped out of her office building, her driver moved to open the car door. Then stopped. Because she had already stopped. Across the street. Leaning casually against a streetlight. Was him. Daniel. Like he had always known where to find her. Or worse. Like he had never really been gone. He pushed himself off the post slowly as their eyes met. No surprise. No hesitation. Just that same quiet awareness. You said if you were meant to, she started. He finished it for her. I would. A small pause. Then. I guess I was. She should have asked questions. Should have demanded answers. Should have walked away. Instead. She found herself stepping toward him. What she didn't know. What she couldn't know. Was that every step she took toward him was a step deeper into a world she had never seen. A world that didn't negotiate. Didn't forgive. And didn't let people walk away once they were in. And Daniel? Daniel wasn't just part of that world. He controlled it. But for now, he was just the man who didn't try. And somehow, that was the most dangerous thing about him. The city never really slept. It just changed its rhythm. Daylight was for power moves, contracts, and polished smiles. Night? Night told the truth. And tonight, something about the air felt different. You've been here before, Amara said as they walked. Not a question. A statement. Daniel didn't look at her. His gaze stayed ahead, scanning without appearing to. Once or twice. Liar. That made him glance at her. Not defensive. Not surprised. Interested. You always call people out like that? He asked. Only when I'm sure. A corner of his mouth lifted slightly. Then I'll be careful. They didn't go to a restaurant. didn't sit under chandeliers or behind guarded doors. Instead, he led her somewhere unexpected. A quiet street. Soft lights. A small place tucked between buildings that didn't care about attention. She stopped just before the entrance. "You brought me here?" she asked, glancing at the modest exterior. "I did. You realize I own 3 restaurants that could buy this entire block?" "I figured." "Then why here?" He finally turned fully toward her. "Because no one's trying to impress you here." A pause. Then softer. "And neither am I." Inside, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Warm. Unpretentious. Real. No one rushed to greet her. No one recognized her. For someone like Amara, that was rare. Almost disarming. They sat. Ordered without overthinking. And again, conversation came easily. Too easily. She told herself she was just curious. Just observing. Just passing time. But something underneath that logic kept pulling her in. Halfway through the evening, it happened. Small. Subtle. But impossible to ignore. A man entered the restaurant. Late 30s. Sharp suit. Eyes that didn't belong in a place like this. He scanned the room once. Then his gaze locked. On Daniel. Amara noticed the shift instantly. The man froze. Not in fear. In recognition. Respect. The kind that wasn't given lightly. Daniel didn't react. At least, not visibly. He continued his sentence like nothing had changed. But Amara saw it. A flicker. Gone in less than a second. The man lowered his head slightly. Not enough for others to notice. But enough. Then he turned and left. Without ordering. Without speaking. Silence settled between them for a moment. Not uncomfortable. But charged. "You know him," Amara said. Daniel picked up his glass calmly. "No." She leaned forward slightly. "He knew you. People think they know a lot of things." "That wasn't thinking," she said quietly. "That was recognition." A beat. Then. And respect. He met her gaze. Fully this time. No deflection. No evasion. Just that same quiet stillness. "You notice a lot," he said. "It's how I stay ahead." "And is it working?" he asked. A strange question. One she didn't answer immediately. Because for the first time in a long time, she wasn't sure. The night ended differently this time. Not with distance. Not with uncertainty. But with something, forming. Unspoken. Undefined. Dangerous in a way she couldn't quite name yet. 3 nights later. She made a decision she normally wouldn't. "Cancel my last meeting," she told her assistant. "Ma'am, that's..." "Cancel it." A pause. "Yes, ma'am." Control. That's what she always chose. But lately, control felt negotiable. She found him again. Or maybe he allowed himself to be found. This time, it wasn't a quiet street. It was a rooftop. High above the noise of the city. Wind cutting through the air. Lights stretching endlessly below. "You're getting predictable," he said as she approached. She scoffed lightly. "Showing up twice is predictable?" "For you," he replied. "Yes." She walked past him, resting her hands lightly on the railing. "You still haven't told me what you do," she said. "Neither have you." She glanced at him. "I build empires." "Legally?" he asked. A small smile. "Always." He stepped closer. Not invading her space. Just entering it. "You wouldn't like my answer," he said. "Try me." Silence stretched. The wind picked up slightly. Then, let's just say, he began, voice lower now, quieter. I deal with problems. What kind of problems? The kind people don't take to boardrooms. Her gaze sharpened. That's vague. It's intentional. Another pause. Longer this time. He was giving her a choice. She felt it. Even if she didn't fully understand it yet. Are you dangerous? She asked finally. Not playful. Not light. Real. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked out over the city. Lights flickering. Lives moving. Secrets buried in every corner. Then he turned back to her. And for the first time, there was something heavier in his eyes. Not cold. Not cruel. Just honest. I can be, he said. That should have been enough. A warning. A line. A reason to walk away. But she didn't move. Because something inside her, something she had kept locked away for years, didn't feel fear. It felt alive. What she didn't realize was that she had just stepped past the point where curiosity turns into consequence. And Daniel? He saw it. The exact moment she crossed that line. He didn't stop her. Because part of him, a part he didn't fully trust, didn't want her to walk away. The first sign wasn't loud. It didn't come with threats or chaos or men in black suits crashing through doors. It came as silence. Amara noticed it on a Thursday morning. Her office, usually a steady rhythm of movement and decisions, felt delayed. Not wrong. Just slightly off. Where is the report? She asked, flipping through the folder again. Her assistant hesitated. Still being processed, ma'am. That alone was unusual. By who? A pause. External consultants. She looked up slowly. I don't outsource internal audits. I know, ma'am. It was approved late last night. By who? Another pause. Longer this time. It came through your authorization code. Silence. Amara leaned back in her chair, fingers steepled. She hadn't approved anything. And no one used her credentials without consequences. Pull the access logs, she said calmly. Across the city. Daniel stood at the edge of a balcony, phone pressed lightly against his ear. Delay it, he said. A voice on the other end responded quickly. It's already done. Then clean it, he replied. No traces. A pause. Understood. He ended the call. Didn't move. Didn't look worried. But his gaze shifted slightly, toward the skyline where her building stood. She's going to notice, another voice said behind him. Daniel didn't turn. I know. Then why interfere at all? A longer pause this time. Measured. Calculated. Then. Because she's already closer than she should be. Back in her office. Amara scanned the logs. Nothing obvious. No forced entry. No external breach. Which meant only one thing. Whoever had done this knew how to disappear. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She let it ring once. Twice. Then answered. Talk. You're digging into the wrong thing. The voice was distorted. Not rushed. Not panicked. Controlled. Then you called the wrong person, she replied evenly. A quiet exhale came through the line. Stay out of it. And if I don't? A pause. Then. People who look too closely at certain doors don't always come back the same. The line went dead. Amara lowered the phone slowly. Her reflection in the glass wall stared back at her. Unshaken. Unmoved. But something behind her eyes had shifted. She didn't scare easily. But she respected patterns. And this? This wasn't random. That evening, she didn't call Daniel. Didn't text. Didn't go looking for him. He found her anyway. She stepped out of her building just after sunset. The air felt heavier than usual. Or maybe she was just more aware of it. You look like someone who's been lied to. His voice came from her left. She didn't flinch. Didn't turn immediately. Funny, she said. I was just thinking the same thing. Now she looked at him. Really looked. You want to explain something to me? She asked. No. The answer came too quickly. Too clean. Her gaze hardened slightly. That wasn't a suggestion. And that wasn't a request, he replied. A beat. Anyone else would have stepped back. Adjusted. Recovered. She stepped forward. You said you deal with problems, she said quietly. Let me guess, this is one of them? His expression didn't change. But something in the air between them did. You're connecting things that shouldn't be connected, he said. Then disconnect them for me. Silence stretched. For the first time since she met him. He looked at her like he was measuring risk. Not curiosity. Not interest. Risk. Go home, Amara. No. Another pause. Longer. He exhaled slowly. You don't understand what you're stepping into. Then explain it. I can't. Or you won't? Their eyes locked. And there it was. The shift. The moment everything changed. A car pulled up sharply at the curb behind them. Too fast. Too sudden. Daniel's head turned instantly. His body moved before the situation fully revealed itself. The door of the car opened. And a man stepped out. Same sharp suit. Same controlled presence. Same kind of energy Amara had seen before. Recognition. The man didn't look at her. Only at Daniel. We need to talk, he said. Daniel didn't respond. Didn't move toward him. Didn't move away either. The street felt smaller now. Tighter. Not here, the man added. Daniel's jaw tightened, barely noticeable. Then he glanced at Amara. And for the first time, there was something close to regret in his eyes. Go home, he said again. Softer this time. She didn't move. Who is he? She asked. The man in the suit finally looked at her. Not dismissive. Not curious. Just assessing. Someone who shouldn't be here, he said. Her gaze didn't leave Daniel. Answer me. Silence. Then. She's not part of this, Daniel said. The man's expression shifted slightly. Almost amused. That's what you think, he replied. Another car slowed at the far end of the street. Then another. Too coordinated to be coincidence. Amara felt it now. The weight of something bigger. Something moving beneath the surface. You said you deal with problems, she said quietly, eyes still on Daniel. This looks like one. He held her gaze. Steady. Unwavering. It is. A pause. Then. And now, you're part of it. The street didn't feel like a street anymore. It felt like a line. One she had already crossed without realizing. Amara stood still as the second car came to a stop. Then a third. No sirens. No shouting. Just quiet precision. Daniel stepped slightly in front of her. Not dramatically. Just enough. Stay behind me, he said. She almost laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was absurd. I don't hide behind anyone, she replied. He didn't argue. Didn't try to convince her. Just said. Tonight, you do. The man in the suit watched the exchange with mild interest. Like he was observing something already decided. You've complicated things, he said to Daniel. I handled it, Daniel replied. You delayed it. A beat. That's not the same. Silence settled again. Heavy now. Amara's gaze moved between them. You're going to start making sense, she said, voice calm but sharp, or I walk away and figure it out myself. That got a reaction. Not from the man in the suit. From Daniel. A flicker. Quick. Gone. You won't like what you find, he said. Try me. The man in the suit stepped forward slightly. Not aggressive. Just present. She's already seen enough, he said. To become a problem. Amara's attention snapped to him. A problem, she repeated. Daniel's voice cut in before the moment could stretch. She's not part of this. And yet, the man replied calmly, she's standing here. Another car door opened. Another presence. More eyes. Amara felt it now. Not fear. Pressure. Her world had always been built on control. On clarity. On knowing exactly what she was dealing with. This was none of those things. She looked at Daniel again. Really looked. Not the man who sat across from her in quiet restaurants. Not the one who spoke in measured tones and avoided attention. This one didn't belong to her world at all. You knew, she said quietly. He didn't pretend not to understand. You knew this would happen. A pause. Then. Yes. No excuse. No softening. Just truth. And you still let me walk into it. Another pause. Longer this time. I didn't think you would stay. That landed. Not because it was harsh. Because it was honest. Amara exhaled slowly. Then stepped forward. Past him. That changed everything. Amara, he started. She didn't stop. Didn't turn. She walked straight up to the man in the suit. If I'm such a problem, she said calmly, solve me. Silence. Not tension. Calculation. The man studied her. Properly now. You don't scare easily, he observed. I don't scare at all. A faint smile touched his lips. That's not a strength here. Then adjust your expectations. Behind her, Daniel's jaw tightened. Enough, he said. That word carried weight. Not loud. Not forceful. But final. The man in the suit looked at him again. And this time, there was no amusement. You're choosing this? He asked. A simple question. Heavy with consequence. Daniel didn't hesitate. Yes. The air shifted. Subtly. Completely. Amara didn't fully understand what that answer meant. But she felt it. Something had just been decided. The man in the suit nodded once. Then you know what follows. I do. Another pause. Then. Keep her out of it, the man added. I will. The tension didn't explode. Didn't escalate into chaos. It dissolved. Controlled. Intentional. One by one, the cars pulled away. The street returned to itself. But nothing was the same. Silence stretched between them. Amara turned slowly. Start talking. Daniel ran a hand briefly along the back of his neck. Not nervous. Just choosing his words. You asked me what I do, he said. I'm still waiting for the answer. A breath. Measured. I run things, he said. That's vague. It has to be. She stepped closer. Try again. Their eyes locked. This time, there was no distance. No deflection. No careful balance. Just truth. I control operations most people pretend don't exist, he said quietly. Decisions get made where laws don't reach. Conflicts get resolved before they become headlines. A pause. And you're at the center of that, she asked. Yes. No hesitation. No apology. The weight of it settled. Not dramatic. Not explosive. Just real. Amara looked away briefly. Processing. Rebuilding. Her world didn't collapse. It adjusted. You could have told me, she said. I tried to keep you away from it. That's not the same. I know. Silence again. Then. Why didn't you? She asked. A different question. Deeper. Daniel held her gaze. Because the moment you knew, he said slowly. You'd have to choose. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Choose what? He didn't answer immediately. Then. Whether to walk away, he said. Or stay in a world that doesn't let people leave easily. That was the line. Clear. Unavoidable. Amara let out a quiet breath. Then. She smiled. Not lightly. Not playfully. Deliberately. I don't walk away from things I understand, she said. His expression shifted slightly. And do you understand this? He asked. Not yet. A pause. But I will. Something unreadable passed through his eyes. Not relief. Not approval. Recognition. You're not going to make this easy, he said. I don't make anything easy. Another pause. Then. Good, he said. The city moved around them again. Cars passing. Lights flickering. Life continuing. But for both of them, something had changed. Not just attraction. Not just curiosity. Alignment. Uncertain. Dangerous. Real. And somewhere beneath it all, consequences were already in motion. They just hadn't arrived yet.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe. It keeps these powerful, unforgettable stories coming your way. Turn on notifications so you never miss a twist. Thank you for watching till the end. You're a part of this journey now. We'll see you in the next story. Thank you.